Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started by opening Tableau. Today we're going to learn about how to create packed bubble charts similar to what you see here. Um, using an Excel file in Tableau, and then we'll also look at it in a later video in R to see how they compare. And packed bubble charts help us to kind of look at relationships between the size of things and regions or sales or any type of relationship like that. So I've gone ahead and I've inserted this data set, and I'm going to go ahead and add actual age to rows because we're going to compare age to experience. Now I have an age variable, as you can see, and an actual age. Actual age includes my value of 1 was 18 and under, so I went ahead and just added 18 to every, or my value of 0, excuse me. So I went ahead and added it to 18, so we have an actual age. And then we're going to grab experience and put it here. We're going to make sure these are dimensions. A pretty scatter plot, but not quite where we want it with packed bubbles, so we need to add some more things. So we're going to add birth region to color. It's the region that an individual was born in. Now we can change this, but it still doesn't look quite right. So now we're going to add regional ID, or the region that you identify most with. I think it's actually, it may be a dimension already. So regional ID we're going to add to size, and as you can see, it's not totally where we want it to be. So let's take a look at it. We want regional ID to be actually a label. We want birth region, which went away, to be a label. I want it to be a dimension, I believe. Okay. And then I think we also want it to be discrete. And then we want experience to be the way that it is. We want actual age to be a count. And then we should be able to move this back. There we go. Look how beautiful that is. So now you can see there's these numbers here, and not all the circles have them. I believe that's because the smaller the circle, the number doesn't really show up. If you notice, it's all the larger circles where that number value fits in there. But the number doesn't really mean much to us. So we're going to go ahead and change or add aliases to the birth region so that those are actually descriptive to us. So we'll hit edit aliases, and we'll do West, Midwest, Northeast, South, and other, and as you can see, that changed our birth region to something of value. We'll go ahead and look at regional ID and change those to aliases as well. So that's the region that you identify most with. So that was West, Midwest, Northeast, and South. And so now you can see that some of those are showing up, but they are only showing up on the larger ones. And then, like, even though this is a larger circle, its Midwest is a longer word, so it does not show up. So we could probably edit those to make them you know, fit more easily if I put MW instead of Midwest or something like that. But you get the general idea of this. There's a color chart over here. We could edit the colors on it. There's automatic. Let's see what fun ones we can do. You can do them even on like an orange gold scale, although I'm not really sure that worked. Let's see. I think I didn't apply it is the problem. So like green gold, we can do that. Assign the palette, apply. See, now it's varying colors of green and yellow. But I think for region it's good to keep them kind of separate, so we could do, you know, something like this, or we could even just go back to the basics. So we'll leave that alone for now, but you know that option exists. And then another thing that we're wanting to do after we have added these aliases is we want to put some filters in here so you can kind of restrict the range if you want to, or you know, do a couple of different things. So we'll add experience, years of experience as a filter, maybe. And we'll do it as an average. Okay. And then as you notice, it did not show up, so we'll say show filter. Now I can restrict this so that I'm only seeing people who, in this example, have more than 8 years of work experience. So, you know, that could be important, I guess, if you have different regions with different percentages of, you know, certain experienced workers. So if you had like a lot more people with no experience, you had a lot of new hires, they may come from all one region, and you could identify them that way. So that's a nice filter to have. And we could do that with age as well, but it would be the same concept. Another filter we could do, I mean, we could go ahead and do age, I guess, just to have it. We'll do actual age, and we'll do average. That's the range we want. We need to show that filter just like we did the last one. And we could do the exact same thing, which might be kind of interesting to see, okay, if we change this and this, did they kind of stay similar or not? Is age related to experience? So we have those. And then I also want to add a regional ID filter. And that will be a checkbox filter. We'll show that filter. And I could say I won't even want to look at the West. I want to look at the Midwest and the Northeast. And it kind of will give me a side-by-side comparison of the two. So this is the basic premise of a packed bubbles chart. You can change your title here to the name of the sheet, which actually I'm going to change down here to so region and experience. It changes it up here. One other thing we can do is we can go into the tooltip and kind of make this make more sense. So we could say, you know, birth region instead of experience. It could be years of experience. Make this more of like a profile. So like the region most identified with, and then, you know, this says distinct count of actual age, but we could just say actual age. See what happens. So now we see its birth region is the West, and they have 5 years of experience, and the region they're most identified with is also the West. But there are some that are different from one another. Like here, they were born in the South, but they mostly identify with the West. They have although I do see this actual age is not showing up the way that I want it to. Let's look at that really quickly. And that's odd because it's showing up correctly here. let's go back to our tooltip and see. I wonder if it has something to do with the form that it's in, because it's not showing up correctly there. Let's see. Distinct. I bet that's what it is. Well, no, that's not it. Let's see. Well, that's not what we want. Huh. Let me pause this and do a little work on this, and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so what I think I figured out is that we can't actually, and this is a really great thing to know, we can't actually filter by age because age is what we're using for size. So I think we can only filter based on labels and color, because the size is what differentiates for us the South from the West. Or excuse me, different ages. And now it's not showing up at all, which is lovely. That's not what I want. Count. Not distinct. Let's see. Nope. The actual age is showing up correctly here, so that's odd to me. And it was showing up earlier. Maybe I did something in the tooltip. Oh, you know what? I deleted it in the tooltip. So there's nothing here, which is why it's not showing up at this point. Probably because I removed it at one point and then brought it back. So let's also add actual age back to the tooltip. Now it's not showing up. But I think I can manually put it in perhaps. Let's try. No, I don't think you can. Let's see. Man. Well, I think I certainly messed this up by doing it in the first place. So, I think as long as you don't add the filter, it doesn't delete it. I'm not sure that it's going to do it for me if I take it away and add it back, but we can try. We don't want to sum, we want to count. No, it's not going to allow us to have it anymore, but I think in a new version, like if you imported your data new, because it did show up at first, so I do think that that works, but I'm not going to labor through doing a whole new one with you. But essentially this is how you do a packed bubbles chart, and then next I will show you how to do it in R.